Okay, that's where we were just at, right down there. And this is where we're at now. We're driving back up the cemetery road. Alright, so we're back up here to where the Sexton Tool House is at. I parked right here. I was going to park down here, but there really isn't room. So let's walk down here to where the Quarry Road, that's where we're going to go. We're going to follow the Quarry Road up and back behind and see how far I can get. Alright. I really need to be walking because I need to warm up. It is darn icy cold. Okay, that is the Quarry Road there. We got to get down here just a little bit farther. So this is where the Quarry Road starts now. But originally, it was not here. It started up here. Let's get a little bit farther up here. Okay, this was all traveled by wagons, but the original Quarry Road turned right here, and perhaps you can see that. There's still a little bit of it. They changed it some 25 or so years ago, but the original road just came and turned and went down there. And I don't know why they decided to change it, but they did. So now it's like this. Okay, so this is a place where I came to an awful lot. I spent a lot of time up here as a young teenager. I had two brothers and a sister, and of course my mother and dad. And it seems like there was just never any privacy anywhere. And I would come up here and escape up here. I had a little fort down off in this direction in the Manzanita. A lot of Manzanita up here as well as Laurel. I was able to build a nice little fort. It was much more dense back then, and I'm already getting a little winded. There used to be a wooden fence that had square nails in it. There's just a little bit of it left. There's some there. There's some there. And people have taken the square nails out of it because they are antiques. And that's a shame, but much of the fence is now gone. So this Quarry Road, they would use horses and wagons on it. It's a bit muddy up here. They have really thinned this area out a lot. It used to be very dense, and you could just walk off down in there and get lost. Like I said, I had a fort somewhere over there, and that's long gone now. I would just come up here and spend time alone, just so I could be alone. There's some more of the original fence posts. At least they didn't take the posts. So anyway, let me get up here so far, and they had somehow managed to, somebody made a motorcycle trail going from off of this down to the main highway there. And there is an old pickup bed down there. Look at that. How in the world? I don't ever remember seeing that before, but somebody's dumped off an old pickup bed. Anyway, I'll get up here so far and see if I can find the area where that trail was at. And I believe it's going to be right in this direction. You can see the evidence of how they've cut out tons of manzanita bushes to make it thinner. By the way, there's hiking trails over there. I will eventually be going over there. But that's going to be more difficult. That's on the other side of the highway. So I think it's right about here. I know it's just before this corner. Anyway, you would go off down in there. I had another pretty cool fort a little bit farther off in that direction. surrounded by these manzanita bushes, and that's just all gone now. You can see all the stumps over there. Wish they hadn't done that, but they have. So that was right before this corner, and yeah, I used to spend a lot of time up here. I had stuff stashed over there and all kinds of stuff, but long gone. I have very fond memories of coming up here just so I could be alone. You can see all the, see an old tin can down there, lots of manzanita stumps. It's a shame. Anyway, they have built more hiking trails up here. This, of course, is manzanita. Not manzanita, but laurel. This is manzanita. This is really hardwood, and it's good to burn. So here's a new hiking trail they built some years ago. There's a hiking trail over there. That's the one you can see across the highway. Maybe you can't because it's a GoPro. That's the old horse trail. Well, we called the horse trail, but we now know it's a ditch trail that brought water to the town in the 1800s. Anyway, continuing on up this way, farther on, I had forts. I had a big fort down here, a big one over there, and then I was starting to build one off in that direction when life kind of changed and I got interested in other things. There's ice on the ground. Let's see. Oh boy. I am hurting a little bit, but it's not too bad. It'll get steep here. So the cemetery's right up in there. So let's continue on here. I'm winded. We've come a ways. We're almost to the end of the cemetery. And you can kind of see now how thick it used to be. That's what it used to be like, only those manzanita were a lot taller. Anyway, yep. We're just about to the end of the cemetery. So here's the corner fence. This is where the Quarry Road takes a sharp right. And of course they have, this is the trail down below, the new trail that we looked at. This is where it comes out at. It goes all down in there and then goes back up here and comes out here. But we're gonna go this way. Of course, we got the big new fence there where there's a big house. Giant house back there that was never there before. Never. This was to my playground back there. And that is no more. There's more than one big house been built back there. It must be nice to have money like that to spend, but I would sure enjoy being able to go back there and walk to all those old trails that are now long gone. This is where we were at yesterday. Yeah, look at that. Look at that giant house. Giant house. I can see something else off in the distance, but we'll soon find out. They've got signs on the fence that I'm on camera. And guess what? So are they. Anyway, as we get down here, the trail turns and makes a left. But I don't know, it was never wide enough for the Quarry Road. So the Quarry Road must have continued straight on. But it was never defined. We never really knew that. It's just always this turn to the left. The quarry, the rock quarry, is quite a long ways. It's a good mile away. And it's on private property now. So this was a pretty dense forested area for sure. And the trail, of course, originally went straight through, but as you can see, that's now impossible. Makes me mad. Taking away all this wonderful area that I so dearly love so much. Anyway, so the trail's been rerouted. This trail is still active. Still an active hiking trail. This is what it used to look like everywhere back here. All right, so we're gonna get up here so far, and then the trail would stop and go that way and that way. So let's see if we can find that. Okay, here is that area. You came up here and the trail went down and it went up. And of course, going up, you're gonna run right into that big house up there. Going down will eventually take you to the quarry, but I do not know how much farther the road would go. So this tree is one of the reasons I want to come up here. So in 1978, summer of 78, I was getting ready to go into my last year of high school, and one of my friends from high school had been over to the house, and he had left a shotgun and a .22 rifle there at the house. And on September 2nd of 78, my little brother and I brought them up here, and of course there was no places here, and we stood somewhere back off here, and we were target practicing against this tree a couple of times with a .22, not the shotgun. We shot a couple of rounds each, and we shot into this tree. And if you look closely, you will see what appear to be bullet holes from a .22. Some down there, some up there. It's amazing. I bet those are still in that tree from 1978. Anyway, it is freezing cold, and I am not going to go any farther. So let's start heading back. That was about all the hike I wanted to do today. Now we'll walk back down to the car.